I never imagined that a single stray hotel receipt could append the carefully arranged tapestry of my ordinary life. It happened on an otherwise unremarkable Tuesday afternoon, a day filled with the predictable rhythm of work, routine errands, and the comforting monotony of my familiar surroundings. I was returning home from a late meeting when, as I rummaged through my bag, my fingers brushed against a folded slip of paper tucked away between the receipts for groceries and a coffee purchase. At first, I assumed it was merely another errant document, a remnant of a transaction I'd long forgotten. But as I unfolded it, I realized this was no ordinary receipt. Its print was crisp and elegant, emblazoned with the logo of an upscale hotel, the Regency Royal, and it confirmed a booking for a luxury suite, one that I never recalled making. The details were precise: a reservation for Suite 705, with a check-in date marked for that very night, along with a note indicating an exclusive, clandestine dinner reservation at the hotel's acclaimed restaurant, La Lumière. I stood rooted in disbelief in the parking garage, the faint hum of the city below mingling with the rush of adrenaline coursing through my veins. My mind raced. Had I, in a moment of carelessness or whimsy, arranged for such an extravagant escape without my conscious recollection? Or was someone else orchestrating this elaborate surprise, one that hinted at romance, secrecy, and a dash of rebellion against the mundane? I sat on a cold concrete step, the receipt trembling in my hand as I tried to piece together the fragments of memory that might explain this anomaly. 4 years, I had maintained a life governed by order, a steady job in a conservative firm, evenings spent in solitude or with a small circle of familiar friends, and weekends punctuated by predictable chores and errands. Yet, buried somewhere within the routine, a restless longing for adventure had always simmered, a yearning for a taste of something unpredictable and intoxicating. At first, I doubted my own sanity. I double-checked my calendar and bank statements, searching for any trace of a transaction or an email confirmation that might corroborate this mysterious booking. Nothing surfaced. My inbox was devoid of any message from the Regency Royal, and yet, the receipt was as genuine as if it had been handed to me directly. A strange mixture of trepidation and excitement took hold. With a deep breath, I made a decision: I would embrace the unknown. I quickly arranged for a rideshare, feeling as if I were about to step into an alternate reality, a realm where every moment promised a blend of luxury, secrecy, and possibly even romance. The ride to the hotel was a blur of emotions. I gazed out the window as the city's skyline shifted from the harsh neon of downtown to the softer, more inviting lights of a residential district. My thoughts spiraled into possibilities. Was this a well-planned surprise from an ex-lover I had long since let go? Or perhaps a spontaneous gift from an anonymous admirer who had seen something in me that I had never recognized? Each possibility stirred memories and emotions, moments of fleeting passion, regrets of missed chances, and the aching desire to break free from the confines of a life that had grown all too predictable. Arriving at the Regency Royal, I was immediately struck by the building's grandeur. Towering columns, intricately carved stone facades, and a luminous marquee that hinted at bygone eras of elegance made the hotel seem almost otherworldly. I stepped out of the rideshare and paused before the entrance, taking in the sight of a revolving door and a gilded sign that glinted softly in the fading light. A valet promptly greeted me, his smile courteous but reserved, as if he were accustomed to secrets of this nature. I handed over my keys without a word, feeling an inexplicable surge of anticipation. Inside, the lobby was a harmonious blend of classic opulence and modern refinement. Polished marble floors reflected the soft glow of crystal chandeliers, and the quiet murmur of a well-dressed crowd filled the air with an atmosphere of understated luxury. I approached the check-in desk, the polished wood and brass accents evoking a sense of timeless sophistication. The receptionist, a sharply dressed woman with an air of dignified mystery, looked up as I introduced myself, though I hesitated, uncertain if she would have any record of my reservation. "Good evening," she said with a slight, knowing smile. "Do you have a reservation?" I held up the stray receipt, its details still fresh in my mind, and she examined it with practiced ease. "Suite 705, check-in for tonight," she confirmed, her eyes briefly betraying a glimmer of surprise before she resumed her composed demeanor. "You are all set, Ms. Rains. Your suite is ready, and dinner at La Lumière is also on the schedule." I nodded, a knot of mixed emotions tightening in my chest. I had no recollection of booking this room or arranging a dinner at this exquisite restaurant, but the receipt and her confirmation left no room for doubt. After a brief pause, she added softly, "Should you need any assistance or have any questions, please do not hesitate to call the concierge." With that, she handed me a small, elegant keycard and directed me to the elevator. I pressed the button for the 7th floor and entered the elevator, its mirrored walls reflecting my uncertain expression back at me. As the elevator ascended, I couldn't help but feel as though I were being transported not merely to a different floor, but to a different realm entirely, one where the boundaries between reality and fantasy blurred. When the elevator doors opened, I stepped into a corridor that exuded quiet luxury. Plush carpets muffled my footsteps as I followed signs directing me toward Suite 705. The door was large, with the number 705 illuminated in soft, amber light. I inserted the keycard and, with a gentle chime, the door swung open to reveal a suite that was nothing short of breathtaking. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered panoramic views of the city below, a dazzling mosaic of lights and motion, and the interior was decorated in a refined palette of creams, deep blues, and touches of gold. Every detail spoke of meticulous planning: a grand sitting area with sumptuous velvet sofas, a writing desk with a vintage lamp, and a king-sized bed draped in luxurious linens. I stood in the center of the suite for a long moment, absorbing the atmosphere. It was as if I had stepped into a world that was both intimately personal and grandly cinematic, a world that promised not just an escape, but a transformation. On a small table near the entrance lay an envelope, sealed with an elegant wax stamp. With a mix of curiosity and trepidation, I opened it. Inside was a handwritten note in graceful script. Ms. Rains, tonight is a celebration of the extraordinary. Enjoy your private dinner at La Lumière, and let the night reveal its secrets. A friend. The note, unsigned and enigmatic, sent a thrill through me. Who was this friend? And what secret did they know about me that compelled them to arrange such an exquisite, clandestine evening? The note's message was both a challenge and an invitation, a challenge to step away from my carefully constructed life and an invitation to experience the extraordinary. I decided to set aside my initial shock and anxiety, choosing instead to surrender to the unfolding mystery. I freshened up, dressing more elegantly in a dress I found in my suitcase, a sleek, midnight blue number that contrasted beautifully with the suite's warm decor. As I prepared for the evening, I couldn't help but feel as though I were metamorphosing before my own eyes. Each brush of makeup, each adjustment of my hair, a small act of defiance against the mundane. I looked at my reflection in the mirror, a blend of anticipation and quiet resolve glimmering in my eyes. Tonight, I was no longer the same person who had woken up to a stray receipt. I was a woman reborn, ready to embrace a world of mystery, passion, and the unknown. Stepping out into the cool night air once again, I hailed a rideshare to the posh bistro, La Lumière. The ride through the city was surreal. Each street seemed to whisper promises of secret escapades, and the usual clamor of urban life was replaced by a gentle murmur as if the city itself were holding its breath. When the car arrived at the bistro, I was immediately struck by its understated elegance. The entrance was marked by a set of frosted glass doors and a softly lit sign that simply read La Lumière in cursive script. I hesitated a moment before stepping through the doors, feeling as if I were crossing a threshold into another realm. Inside, La Lumière was a sanctuary of refined sophistication. The decor was both modern and timeless, a seamless fusion of contemporary art, plush seating, and warm, ambient lighting that cast delicate shadows across the room. Soft classical music floated through the air, its notes intertwining with the gentle clink of glasses and the subdued murmur of conversation. I was greeted by a maître d' whose warm smile and courteous manner put me at ease immediately. "Good evening, Ms. Rains," he said, as if he had been expecting me all along. "Your table has been prepared. Please, follow me." He led me down a narrow corridor to a secluded table by a large window that offered a panoramic view of the city skyline. I took my seat and allowed myself a moment to absorb the ambience. The table was elegantly set with fine china, crystal glasses, and a single white rose in a slender vase, a touch of understated romance that seemed to promise that this evening would be unlike any other. The lighting was soft and inviting, and I felt a flutter of excitement in my chest as I contemplated the mysterious dinner that lay ahead. Within minutes, the first course arrived, a delicate amuse-bouche artfully presented on a small porcelain dish. The flavors were exquisite, a perfect balance of tang, sweetness, and umami that set my palate alight with anticipation. As I savored each bite, I couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought me to this moment. Just hours earlier, I had discovered a stray hotel receipt that revealed a secret booking for a luxury suite, and now I was here, seated in an opulent bistro with no clear explanation but an undeniable promise of something extraordinary. The juxtaposition of the mundane, a digital receipt, a stray piece of paper, and the lavishness of the evening was both disorienting and exhilarating. It was as though the universe had conspired to disrupt my carefully ordered life and reveal a hidden chapter filled with romance, mystery, and the allure of the forbidden. Between courses, I exchanged glances with the other diners, a small, eclectic group of individuals who, like me, seemed to have been drawn into this clandestine gathering. There was a quiet camaraderie in the air, an unspoken understanding that we were all here to embrace something beyond the ordinary. I noticed an older gentleman with kind eyes who nodded at me in silent solidarity, and a young woman whose shy smile spoke of secret dreams and unfulfilled passions. I felt a connection, however fleeting, to each of them, a shared acknowledgement that life's true magic often lies hidden in unexpected moments. The conversation at my table soon turned from polite small talk to more intimate musings. The maître d' had discreetly left us to our own devices, and I found myself engaged in a gentle exchange with the gentleman seated across from me. His name was Victor, and his voice carried the soft timbre of someone who had experienced both the pain of loss and the joy of rediscovery. He spoke of the beauty of chance encounters and the transformative power of stepping into the unknown. His words resonated with a truth that I had felt deep within, a longing to break free from a life dictated by routine and to experience the vivid, often unpredictable hues of true passion. As the dinner progressed through a series of meticulously prepared courses, a rich bisque, a tender fillet accompanied by a reduction of red wine and herbs, and finally, a dessert of delicate pastries drizzled with a tangy citrus glaze, I felt the tension of the evening gradually dissolve into a state of serene wonder. Each dish was a revelation, a sensory exploration that seemed designed to awaken the dormant parts of my soul. With every bite, I felt as if I were tasting the very essence of life, a blend of sweetness, bitterness, and the lingering trace of something elusive yet deeply satisfying. When the final course was cleared, the maître d' returned with a discreet smile. "Ms. Rains, your dinner is complete. Should you require further assistance, please call the concierge." His words were polite, but I sensed that the night was far from over. A subtle excitement had taken root in me, a desire to discover what other mysteries the evening might hold. I settled my bill and left the bistro, stepping back into the cool night air with a heart that pounded with a mixture of contentment and anticipation. Outside, I found a quiet corner where I could pause and reflect. The stray receipt that had started it all, the secret booking for a luxury suite, had opened a door to an evening of clandestine romance and unexpected beauty. I pulled out my phone and scanned the messages once again, searching for any clue that might explain who had orchestrated this elaborate escape. But the messages were as mysterious as the night itself, anonymous, yet undeniably deliberate. There was no signature, no hint of identity, only the promise of an experience that transcended the everyday. I hailed another rideshare to return to my suite at the Regency Royal. The journey back was a quiet, introspective one, the city's lights blurred into streaks of color, and I felt as though I was suspended in a dream. When I arrived at my suite, I stepped into the lavish interior once more, the memory of the elegant dinner and the whispered promises of romance echoing in every corner. I settled into a deep armchair by the window, where I could watch the city wake slowly to a new day. With a steaming cup of tea in hand, I began to write in my journal, pouring out the emotions and revelations of the night. Every word was a testament to the transformation I had undergone, a transformation catalyzed by a stray receipt that had revealed a secret booking for a luxury suite and a clandestine, romantic dinner. That night had been a revelation, a potent mix of luxury, mystery, and intimacy that shattered the confines of my previously ordered life. I realized that I had, in essence, broken free from the monotonous patterns that had held me captive for so long. The secret dinner at La Lumière was not merely an indulgence in fine dining, it was a bold statement that life was meant to be experienced fully, with every hidden nuance and every unexpected delight embraced as part of the journey. In the days that followed, I found myself changed in subtle but profound ways. I carried with me the memory of that clandestine night, a beacon of possibility that would light the way for future adventures. I began to challenge myself to take small risks, to seek out moments of beauty and intimacy in the mundane, and to remain open to the unpredictable whispers of fate. My interactions with friends and colleagues took on a new depth, as I shared with them, in fragments and half-whispers, the secret that had transformed me. I learned that the true magic of life often lies in the moments that occur when we step beyond the boundaries of our comfort zones and allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to truly feel. Even now, as I recount the events of that night in my journal, I am reminded of the extraordinary power of a single moment. A stray hotel receipt, discovered by chance, had unraveled a secret plan, a plan that led me to a luxury suite at the Regency Royal, to an elegant dinner at La Lumière, and to a night of clandestine romance that has forever altered the contours of my soul. It was a reminder that beneath the surface of our daily routines lie hidden opportunities for passion, transformation, and connection, a message that, if we are brave enough to heed it, can lead us to live a life that is as rich, as unpredictable, and as profoundly beautiful as the dreams we dare to imagine. And so, as I close this chapter of my extraordinary night, I do so with a sense of gratitude and hope, a hope that I will continue to embrace the unexpected, that I will always remain open to the secret invitations that life sends our way. For in every hidden booking, every clandestine dinner, lies the potential to rediscover who we truly are, and to step boldly into a future filled with endless possibility. I awoke the next morning with a mind swirling between disbelief and a quiet, persistent euphoria. The memory of that extraordinary night, the clandestine dinner, the opulent suite at the Regency Royal, and the bittersweet mystery of that stray receipt, was still vivid in every fiber of my being. As dawn crept over the skyline, I sat on the edge of my bed, cradling a steaming cup of tea, and tried to make sense of the emotions that had overtaken me. In the hours after that enchanted evening, something had shifted within me. I realized that the secret booking, the elegant dinner, and the whispered promises of romance had not just been a departure from the mundane, they had been a call to rediscover a self I had long buried under layers of routine and caution. That morning, I revisited every detail of the previous night in my journal. I wrote about the delicate aroma of the roses on my table, the soft clink of silverware as if echoing an ancient ritual, and the lingering taste of a dessert that had been both decadent and transformative. I wrote about Clara, whose quiet vulnerability had mirrored my own hidden desires, and about Victor's stories of chance encounters that rekindled the belief in serendipity. I noted every nuance, from the understated luxury of the suite that seemed to cocoon me in its refined elegance to the palpable excitement that had coursed through me as I stepped into that hidden dining room at La Lumiere. With every word I inscribed, I felt my heart open wider, as if each letter was a key unlocking parts of me I never knew existed. Yet, as the morning turned to midday, I sensed that the revelations of the night were not meant to remain confined to memories and ink on paper. The stray hotel receipt had been a spark, a single moment that had ignited a series of events, transforming my life into an ongoing journey of secret escapes and hidden passions. I began to wonder if this experience was not a solitary anomaly but the first chapter of something much larger, something that beckoned me to step further beyond the safe borders of my old life. The world outside seemed to beckon with renewed vibrancy. The city, usually a blur of routine commutes and endless emails, now shimmered with possibilities. I caught myself noticing details I'd once overlooked, the glint of sunlight on a rain-soaked street, the whispered laughter of strangers on a crowded sidewalk, the way the wind seemed to carry secrets from distant places. It was as though the entire world had been infused with a hidden language, a language meant for those willing to listen. Later that day, I received a curious message on my phone. It wasn't from a known contact, nor did it bear any of the standard markers of promotional material. Instead, it was a simple text with a series of coordinates and a time, 5:30 p.m. Meet at the Crescent Gardens. Come alone. The message, devoid of any explanation or signature, sent a familiar thrill coursing through me. It was a call to continue this journey, an invitation to another secret rendezvous that promised a blend of mystery and beauty. I hesitated only for a moment before replying with a brief "I'll be there." Deep down, I knew that my life had irreversibly changed, and I was determined not to let that spark fade into the ordinary. The Crescent Gardens were a hidden gem tucked away behind a maze of narrow lanes in one of the city's less-traveled districts. As I made my way there on foot, the fading light painted the streets in deep hues of orange and violet. The air was crisp, and the sound of my footsteps echoed softly along the cobblestone path. When I finally reached the gardens, I found a secluded clearing surrounded by ancient trees and softly illuminated by delicate fairy lights strung between their branches. The space exuded a tranquil yet enigmatic charm, as if it were a secret retreat from the world, reserved for those who dared to dream. At the center of the clearing stood a small, ornate table adorned with a simple bouquet of wildflowers and a flickering candle. A single envelope lay atop the table, its seal embossed with an unfamiliar emblem, a stylized crescent intertwined with intricate patterns. My heart pounded as I picked it up and carefully broke the seal. Inside was another handwritten note. Your journey has just begun. Tonight, join us for an intimate gathering of kindred spirits at the Aurora Pavilion. The details: arrive by 8 p.m. Dress elegantly. Embrace the unknown. The note was signed only with the initial S. It was both cryptic and profoundly inviting. I felt that familiar rush, a heady blend of anticipation and trepidation, as I realized that my secret escapes were becoming a series of orchestrated chapters in a grand, unfolding narrative. Each invitation, each stray piece of paper, was guiding me deeper into a world that celebrated passion, art, and the transformative power of vulnerability. That evening, as I prepared once again to step into the unknown, I carefully selected an outfit that resonated with both elegance and subtle rebellion, a sleek, ivory blouse paired with a high-waisted charcoal skirt, and a pair of classic, ankle-strap heels. I applied makeup that enhanced my natural features without obscuring the raw emotions I now wore like a badge of honor. As I looked in the mirror, I recognized a version of myself that I had long forgotten, a woman whose eyes shone with unspoken dreams and whose heart beat with the promise of untold adventures. I hailed a rideshare and set off for the Aurora Pavilion, a venue I had only heard whispers about in quiet, hushed conversations among those who reveled in secret gatherings. The drive was filled with a mix of excitement and nervous energy as I watched the city transition from the bustling glow of daylight to the mystique of night. When the car pulled up in front of the Aurora Pavilion, I was struck by its ethereal beauty, a modern architectural marvel with sweeping glass walls and shimmering, reflective surfaces that caught the light of 1,000 stars. The entrance was modest, yet the air around it pulsed with an energy that seemed to vibrate in sync with my own heartbeat. Inside, the Aurora Pavilion was a revelation. The main hall was a vast, open space filled with plush seating arrangements, soft ambient lighting, and a live quartet playing a gentle, mesmerizing melody that reverberated off the sleek surfaces. The decor was a harmonious blend of contemporary minimalism and classical accents, a living, breathing expression of beauty and innovation. Guests moved quietly through the space, their attire elegant and refined, yet there was an air of anticipation that was unmistakable. I registered at the discreet check-in desk and was given a small, elegant card with instructions to join the gathering in the central lounge. The central lounge of the Aurora Pavilion was a sanctuary of intimacy and creativity. A large circular table dominated the space, surrounded by chairs upholstered in rich, midnight blue fabric. Soft candlelight danced across the table, and the gentle hum of conversation created an atmosphere of shared understanding. I was greeted by a woman named Simone, who wore a warm, knowing smile. "Welcome," she said, her voice soft yet confident. "We are so pleased you could join us this evening." Simone guided me to an empty seat at the table, and as I settled in, I scanned the room, taking in the faces of those gathered there, artists, writers, dreamers, and souls who, like me, had chosen to break free from the confines of ordinary existence. Over the course of the evening, the conversation at the table flowed like a gentle current, meandering through topics of art, passion, and the bittersweet poetry of fleeting moments. A soft-spoken poet recited verses that spoke of ephemeral beauty and the courage to love in the face of inevitable loss. An elderly gentleman, whose eyes sparkled with memories of yesteryears, recounted tales of long-forgotten romances and the quiet, dignified pain of separation. Each story was a revelation, each word a gentle invitation to embrace the richness of life's tapestry. I found myself drawn into an intimate dialogue with a fellow guest named Elena, a woman with a quiet grace and an enigmatic smile that hinted at depths yet unexplored. As we shared our personal journeys, I discovered that Elena, too, had once been trapped in the monotony of a life governed by duty and routine. She spoke of a time when she had felt invisible in a world that prized conformity, and how a single act of defiance, a hidden invitation much like the ones that now guided us, had rekindled her passion for living. Her voice was laced with both vulnerability and strength, and I realized that her words resonated with my own silent longings. In that moment, I felt an overwhelming kinship with her, as if our shared defiance against a colorless existence had forged an unbreakable bond. As the night deepened, the gentle strains of the quartet gave way to more subdued, reflective music, and the conversation around the table took on an almost sacred quality. Simone rose gracefully and announced that it was time for a brief intermission, a pause in the revelry to allow each guest a moment of private reflection. We were invited to step out onto a private balcony that overlooked a starlit garden, where the cool night air and the whisper of distant water features created a tranquil backdrop. I lingered on the balcony, feeling the weight of the evening's revelations settle in my heart. The night had been an awakening, a reminder that life's most profound moments often lie hidden in the spaces between certainty and risk, in the fleeting whispers of possibility that dare us to dream. Standing alone on the balcony, I recalled the stray hotel receipt that had set all of this in motion. A simple piece of paper that had unexpectedly revealed a secret booking for a luxury suite and an invitation to a clandestine, romantic dinner. It was hard to believe that such a small, seemingly insignificant document could have altered the trajectory of my life so profoundly. Yet, as I gazed at the endless expanse of the night sky, I knew that every moment since then had been a step toward reclaiming a part of myself that had long been subdued by the monotony of everyday routine. After a few moments of quiet contemplation, I returned inside, rejoining the gathering at the table. The remainder of the evening passed in a blur of heartfelt conversations, gentle laughter, and moments of introspection that felt like whispers from my soul. As the event drew to a close, Simone thanked us all for our presence and gently reminded us that the night's experiences were but the beginning of a journey that would continue to unfold in ways both unexpected and transformative. Remember, she said softly, the secret to living is to embrace each hidden invitation with an open heart. Let your experiences guide you, and never be afraid to step into the unknown. I left the Aurora Pavilion with a sense of bittersweet fulfillment, a profound awareness that I had tasted something rare and beautiful, something that would forever alter the contours of my existence. The cool night air enveloped me as I walked to a waiting rideshare, and with each step, I felt as though I were carrying the quiet fire of that secret evening within me. In the silence of the ride home, I replayed the moments like a cherished film, the elegant decor of La Lumiere, the whispered confessions at the private lounge, the gentle intimacy of the Aurora Pavilion, and the shared smiles that spoke of hidden dreams and unspoken promises. Returning to my modest apartment, I locked the door behind me and sank into the familiar comfort of my armchair. But something was irrevocably different now. I opened my journal and continued writing late into the night, recording every detail of my evolving journey. I wrote about the way the secret encounters had unlocked parts of me that I'd long kept hidden, about the courage it took to step away from a life defined by routine, and about the boundless potential that lay in embracing the unpredictable beauty of existence. In the days and weeks that followed, I found that the ripple effects of that enchanted night extended far beyond the confines of a single secret rendezvous. I began to make subtle changes in my life, a new willingness to accept invitations to spontaneous outings, a deeper appreciation for the art of conversation, and a renewed commitment to seeking out moments of beauty and connection in the everyday. The stray hotel receipt, once a simple, overlooked piece of paper, had become a symbol of transformation, a reminder that even the smallest sign can herald the beginning of a grand adventure. I continued to receive occasional encrypted messages and hidden reminders, each one an invitation to explore a different facet of life's rich tapestry. Some led me to intimate art exhibits in hidden courtyards, others to private rooftop dinners beneath a canopy of stars, and still others to gatherings where the language of poetry and music wove together the fragments of forgotten dreams. Each experience added a new layer to the person I was becoming, a person unafraid to taste the sweetness of passion, to feel the ache of vulnerability, and to revel in the uncharted territory of a life reimagined. One crisp evening, as winter began to hint at its approach with the first gentle flurries of snow, I received another message. This one promised an escape into a world of quiet elegance, a secret weekend retreat at a historic manor known for its secluded charm and timeless grace. The instructions were simple: arrive by 6 p.m. on Saturday, dress in your finest, and prepare to be transported into a realm where every moment was designed to evoke beauty and introspection. I accepted without hesitation, feeling that the journey was far from over and that each new chapter would continue to challenge and transform me. That weekend, as I stepped off the train in a small, picturesque town blanketed in a light dusting of snow, I felt as though I were entering a dream. The manor, an imposing structure of stone and ivy, loomed against a backdrop of frost-kissed trees and a sky of pale blue. I was greeted by a gentle smile from a caretaker who led me through grand, echoing halls lined with portraits of stoic figures and time-worn chandeliers that cast soft, golden light. The manor's atmosphere was one of quiet dignity and hidden stories, each room a silent witness to decades of love, loss, and quiet resilience. I was shown to a room that was both modest and elegant, a reflection of the manor's understated charm. After a brief rest, I joined a small group of guests for an evening dinner in the manor's expansive dining hall. The table was set with antique silverware, hand-stitched linens, and a centerpiece of fresh winter blooms. As we dined, the conversation flowed with the ease of old friends reuniting, each story punctuated by laughter, reflective pauses, and the gentle clinking of glasses filled with rich, red wine. I listened to tales of adventure and quiet defiance, of people who had once chosen to live ordinary lives until a secret invitation beckoned them to step into the extraordinary. I shared my own tale, the strange discovery of the hotel receipt, the clandestine dinner that had shattered my routine, and the cascade of transformative experiences that had followed. In that circle of kindred souls, I felt a sense of belonging that I had never known before, a realization that I was not alone in my desire to break free from the chains of predictability. After dinner, the manor's caretaker invited us to a small library, where we were encouraged to browse a collection of old journals and letters, fragments of the past that revealed the hidden passions of those who had once dared to dream. I found myself lingering over the faded words of a letter written by a woman who had once embarked on a secret romance during a time of war, a love that had flourished in whispered conversations and clandestine midnight meetings. The raw emotion and courageous vulnerability of that letter resonated with me deeply, reinforcing the belief that every secret encounter, no matter how fleeting, held the potential to ignite the soul. The weekend retreat at the manor was more than a break from routine. It was a pilgrimage of the heart, a journey that rekindled the embers of passion and reminded me that life's most extraordinary moments often arise from the willingness to embrace uncertainty. As I boarded the train back to the city on Sunday afternoon, I carried with me not only memories of sumptuous dinners and intimate conversations but also a renewed determination to live boldly. I vowed to keep my eyes open for every hidden reminder, every stray message that might beckon me once again into the realm of secret escapes and transformative encounters. Now, as I sit in the quiet solitude of my apartment, the echoes of these clandestine adventures still resonating within me, I know that my life has been irrevocably changed. I have learned that true freedom lies in the willingness to let go of routine, to step into the unknown with an open heart, and to savor every secret moment that the universe offers. The stray hotel receipt that once caught me off guard has become a symbol of liberation, a testament to the power of a single unexpected invitation to alter the course of one's destiny. I continue to treasure each encrypted message, each hidden calendar reminder, and every secret booking that guides me along this winding path of self-discovery and passion. With each new encounter, I am reminded that life is a tapestry of both light and shadow, of bold adventures and quiet introspection. And as I look forward to the future, I do so with the unwavering belief that every clandestine rendezvous, every sumptuous meal shared under candlelight, is a step toward becoming the truest, most vibrant version of myself. Thus, my journey continues, a journey fueled by mystery, intimacy, and the courage to embrace the unknown. Each secret escape, each elegant dinner rendezvous, is a whispered promise that life's most profound experiences await those who dare to seek them out. And so, with gratitude in my heart and a spirit forever transformed by the beauty of hidden moments, I step forward into a future brimming with endless possibility, knowing that the extraordinary is always just one secret invitation away.